On today's episode, Spartan Prize Money with Spartan CEO Joe Sena and DEKA FIT Director Yancy Culp. Welcome to the OCR Report podcast. The OCR Report is the live stream home for the sport of obstacle course racing. Become a member at patreon.com/the OCR Report and help us ensure OCR is here for the next 100 years. My name is Will Hicks, and this is the OCR Report. Welcome back to the OCR Report podcast. Brilliant of you to listen. It's been a minute. It's good to be talking to you again. My name is Will Hicks. I am your host. Today in our show, Spartan CEO Joe Sena and DEKA FIT Director Yancy Culp. We are going to talk about prize money. Before we get into that, you can support the show by becoming a subscriber at patreon.com/the OCR Report. You can subscribe on Instagram at the OCR Report. You can follow for free and subscribe for $5 a month to support our live stream coverage, to support the podcasts, to support our race results, and our OCR photos of the day. Another big way you can support the show is by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. 5 stars. Before we talk to Joe and Yancy, let me give you a little context for what's going on or what's been happening in the sport in the last week. Nicole Miracle, I believe, is the one who kind of got the conversation started. Nicole is a multiple-time world champion for Spartan, OCRWC, multiple races, multiple brands, one of the best in our sport. And she posted on Instagram, "Hey, Spartan owes me money." Something like $30,000. And she had receipts. And other people chimed in, "Hey, they owe me money. They owe me money." And so it became a big conversation over the last several days. So we talked with Joe and Yancy about it. We asked, me and the mouse in my pocket, and said, "Hey, when are people getting paid?" Now, payments actually have gone out. Let me give you some of the highlights of the interview. I don't want to scoop myself, but let me hit you some of the highlights of the interview. $50,000 or so has already been paid out this week. They are doing payments starting from oldest to most recent. So if you won a race last week, you're going to be the last one to get paid for that race versus somebody who won a race in 2023, for example. Joe said 80% of all the payments should be taken care of by September 1st. I'm talking to you on August 9th. We talked this week. So within 3 weeks, Joe, they anticipate having 80% of payments taken care of by September 1st and 100% in the next couple months after that. And he wrapped up the interview by sharing his email address, joe@spartan.com. So if you have an idea or a question, or if you have beef, shoot him an email, joe@spartan.com. That's the actual email that I send Zoom invites to. If I'm going to do, when we're doing set up an interview or Google Calendar, notifications or whatever, shoot him an email, joe@spartan.com. Those are the Reader's Digest bullet points. If you don't want to listen to the whole show, 30-minute interview, give it to you in the first 4 minutes and 30 seconds of the podcast. Kids, Reader's Digest is a magazine that used to be published that would read, they'd have long books, and they would publish a shortened version of the book. It was a Reader's Digest version of the book. A magazine is a thing that they used to have kind of glossy on covers and pages in between, and you would read it at home with your smoking jacket, your pipe. Anyway, I didn't say it was a good story. It's time to talk with Joe Sena and Yancy Culp. Let's go to the phones. Joe Sena is a 3-time New York Times bestselling author and the CEO of Spartan Race. Yancy Culp is the Director of DEKA FIT. Yancy and Joe, two of the few people who do not need an introduction to our podcast. Welcome back to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us on the show, Will. Always fun to hang out with you two boys.
Hey, always enjoy it, Will. We have great respect for you, brother.
You're very kind, Yancy. Thanks. I appreciate you guys as well. Busy week in OCR. There's a lot of news and prize money is obviously the big thing we want to talk about. But before we start, Joe, I know you're about to get on a plane. Yancy, you got lots of things going on this weekend in the world of DEKA. Yancy, why don't you start? What's going on this weekend?
Mannheim, PA, Spooky Nook, the largest indoor fitness facility in the United States of America. We have a 2-day DEKA FIT. Tomorrow as DEKA FIT individual and teams, and then Sunday is the Ultra, DEKA FIT Ultra. So only 2 more races left after this one before World Championships in Fort Lauderdale.
That Ultra is new this year. What's the response been to that?
It's for all the awesome Spartan crazies that I call them. I'm one of those people that we love so much, the ones that love to do our ultras and death races and all the crazy fun stuff and Ironman triathletes. It's DEKA FIT times 5, 25K of running and 50 fitness zones to get the DEKA FIT Ultra buckle. So Jason Barnes, our director of special events, he'll be doing it tomorrow. He's our event director. I'm sorry, he'll be doing it on Sunday.
Is Robin going to be there with her roller skates?
Robin will have her roller skates on, covering everything for the marketing side. Yes.
Joe, what are you up to this weekend or in the world of Spartan?
I gotta travel. I gotta go meet with some of our partners around the world. I'm heading to Munich tonight. I've been to Europe 3 times in 2 weeks. My hours are all screwed up, but I basically live on an airplane. Pretty awesome. Like I've been looking at some of the imagery coming from around the world. I was recently in Morzine at the Ultra Championship, seeing all the purple people who are just absolute badass maniacs. When you got to go through that festival again, right? Like you are a special human being. And I just love the stories. I bump into people in airports. I bumped into this woman in airport recently. She has done so many of every time I meet somebody over 80 events. I'm just baffled. I'm baffled. Like I was on a craze. I was on a tear in the mid 90s. I was running around doing races, but like these people, our people, right? The community, whether Tough Mudder, Spartan, DEKA, are complete animals, like maniacs, right? 100,000 plus tattoos, 500 races, Yara. It must be very little oxygen up there. There can't be too many people that have done over 500 events, but still more than I would have ever expected. So I don't know. I just love the stories. I love seeing that. It's church. It's church for me, and it's church for so many people.
I was talking to someone this morning about Hvar in Croatia, I think. Which was race last year, and I guess we're going back again this year. So a lot of cool stuff.
Here's a crazy one. I was in Hvar 2 weeks ago for a minute. I bumped into the prime minister. He recognized me carrying a rock. He asked me to put the rock down and come into a meeting where he had 80 members of the Croatian government from the highest level to the lowest level. And he needed me to speak about Spartan and everything we do and how awesome it was having the event there. And that was completely unprompted, like not planned. I had dirt all over me. I just put down this heavy rock. It was pretty funny.
One of the things we want to talk about, really the main thing, is prize money in Spartan. Yancy, you were one of the kind of driving forces to get this call set up, and you brought Joe in. Joe,
before Yancy goes, hang on a second. I just want to set the stage. It has been, how long has it been, Yancy? 4.5 years since the pandemic? 5 years?
No, we're five plus now. Yeah,
5 years in.
5.
If you're listening to this or you're watching this, you're like exhausted with hearing, the pandemic. But the reality is that thing it's like the gift that keeps on giving to us, right? It's lasted 5 years, the lingering effects of that. And you, myself, and 498 other people, we ask the world to not have excuses. We ask the world to go above and beyond. We ask the world to tackle obstacles and always be positive and just get after it. And here I find myself answering Will's question about prize money or shirts or medals or whatever it may be, and coming up with excuses and nonsense. But the reality is, look, it's been really, really hard for us. And I think anybody, including myself, could have counted us out in 2021, 2022, 2023. Everybody did, by the way, whether it was Matt Davis or the Wall Street Journal or the Unbreakable Pass holders that were about to purchase, but thought about employees, you name it. Everybody has counted us out along the way in tiny percentages. And we just kept on trucking, and we put our head down, and we somehow made it to the next telephone pole, and we took 5 more steps, and we drank some water, right? And we got a good night's sleep, and we did it again. And so look, this is no different for me. And then I'll let you get into it, Yancy. For me, we are like so close to having that whole nightmare behind us. It's exhausting to even talk about it, but I get it. I get it. If you're a person that's, owed some money because of prize money, if you didn't get a medal that you deserve, that you earned, I get it. Now the reality is, if you think about it, there's been, I don't know, it's got to be close to 3 million people since the pandemic have crossed the finish line somewhere in the world. Thankfully, we're talking about probably less than 10,000 issues, but it's still a big number.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you say 10,000, that's not all. 10,000 people need prize money, or is that inclusive?
No, between like a headache, something that was lingering, like a big problem. If you look at, I'm making up numbers, right? But if you look at from mid 20, well, I mean, it depends what you count as a problem. Mid 2020, the big problem was 500,000 people had purchased tickets and we couldn't put on races. So the 500,000 people wanted to kill me, right? Then I went out and told everybody they should wear masks. So then 500,000 people wanted to kill me because I said wear masks. Then I came out and said everybody should get outside and race. Then 500,000 people wanted to kill me because Joe wants to kill people and make them go outside and race, and they shouldn't go outside. So I got my lesson in media and just keeping my mouth shut, because anything I said, 500,000 people want to kill me. But what I'm talking about specifically is, there's probably been 3 million people since that moment that have since crossed a finish line, and these acute but very annoying problems, whether it's prize money, medals, whatever, it's probably 10,000 or less. But for most companies, 10,000 that's a giant number. And by the way, I have a tolerance for 0. I don't want any, but I haven't had solutions along the way. I mean, it's just the reality we had to deal with. I couldn't undo the cancellation of races. I couldn't write $50 million worth of checks to give their people money back. It's my reality. I can't even talk about it because I don't like excuse. There's nothing I can say. I just put my head down. I drink some water. I take 5 steps forward. I try to get to the next telephone pole every day.
Yeah, I have a unique perspective because I used to be the guy that was the average elite guy that was racing. And I remember when things were going well, and you would actually there's times when I was getting paid on site. You get your stuff on site, you get paid super quick. And I lived through those days, and then had the wonderful opportunity to start collaborating and working with Joe in various ways. And, Joe's always been the person that, the one thing I give it to him, if you have an idea, he'll hit the pause button and give you some time. And, I was that athlete, like some of the athletes right now. It's a small percentage, but I know Joe and I and the entire team want every single elite athlete out there that may watch this. We have phenomenal respect for you. I know personally what it's like to either train and race full time or train and race as a legit part-time job where it becomes a part of your income. A tiny little piece of me back in my day, but some of you will plan your year and know that, okay, I think I'm looking at my race calendar and I think I can make 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, maybe even $50,000 this year. And it becomes a part of your your amazing side hustle. Here's this side hustle of you training your ass off to come to our event. And I'll tell you a quick story. From the financial side of house, a couple of years ago, I was on a call with Joe and a bunch of the team. And Joe's like, listen, I really feel the best thing to do right now because we're in a freaking hole. Like I personally watched, because I was on the Spartan team the whole time. I personally watched us get our legs pulled out from under us, a rug ripped right out from under us, $50 to $100 million gone, zero ability to make a penny for a couple years. And the team Joe's like, listen, we got to keep as many of the people on the team as possible, but we have a little bit of capital early on. You burn through that really quickly. It's like, we have to keep going. We have to keep providing races. And Joe, we should have listened to him 2 or 3 years ago when he said, listen, guys, we need to cease all prize money. Maybe even need to cease more than that. We just need to make sure we can keep the lights on to keep the start line in place every weekend, start line somewhere. And enough of us, and I was guilty as charged. And there's several, I won't name other names. We're like, we really need to try to keep taking care of the athletes. And that bit us big time, because when you're keeping the lights on, you got to pay the few team, the full-time team that's left, and you start tearing down from there. And the crazy, unfortunate piece is that one of the bottom notches is the athletes that have been training their ass off, and they get on that podium and they're supplementing their income. And it's 6 months to a year plus later when we're trying to play catch up. And that sucks, because I had some great calls was over the last week. Nicole being one, man, she's just salted the earth, amazing human, amazing athlete, fellow Texan. We had about an hour-long conversation, and I know all the elites really well. And I know I'm speaking for at least 90+% of them when I say, I know you all want to see us succeed. You look at a Ryan Atkins and Lindsay Webster, Nicole Miracle, Zuzana, Robert Killian, and I go on and on and on and on. These people that have been living on our podiums for years, the Hobie calls and all of them in between, and the new Gen Zers, they want to wake up 10, 15 years from now and be able to tell their kids, I was a world champion there. I used to live on those podiums. You see my medals? They want to see us thriving. I kind of compare it to like CrossFit, the crazy bumps in the road they've had. That crushes the hearts of the athletes, because eventually you want to show those things to your grandkids. And I know we understand the frustrations. And when you get fed up and you just kind of start venting, and because you feel like there's nothing else to do, we completely understand that. And it is absolutely well-deserved for you to vent from the scream from the top of the freaking mountain at us. We get it. I just want you to know how much, because I'm behind the scenes on the calls, how much you are appreciated. You played a massive role. And again, I'm talking to the elites right now. You played a massive role in growing this brand and shouting it from the rooftops, from the tops of the podiums, and living and supporting us on social media. There's massive respect. Thank you for your patience. We understand the frustrations. Thank you for a lot of you. Thank you for continuing to freaking support us during the brutal times. That's tear jerking to me, because I know what you're going through when you need that money. Like, God, this may be taken the wrong way, but kind of like you, for a long time, we've been living paycheck to paycheck, and it sucks bad. And it's like you walk around with 2 fire extinguishers in every hand, 7.5 days a week, 24.5 hours a day. It's just a fire extinguisher. And I in a way, I feel blessed having been able to be part of it behind the scenes, while also being able to communicate to so many. But I know I speak for Joe and everybody on the team. Everything, all of your frustration is so freaking warranted. And we have massive respect for you. And we hope we can get most of you back. We talked about recently about the OGs, the 35 to 50 plusers coming out and throwing down with the Gen Zers. I think we should put something like that together, Joe, because as I said the other day, I think the old guard would kick the Gen Zers ass, but I may be proven wrong.
It was awesome for me. I was in Havar last October, and I decided to carry the chains with a buddy of mine who does not speak English. He wears the helmet to all our races, and he carried the chain. He looks like looks like Leonidas. He's a monster. And so we're carrying these chains, and who do I come across? Zuzana. And man, I had a smile ear to ear, because for me, those are my Tom Brady's. So like, those early days. Like if I ran into Hobie or Cody or any of the original gangsters, I was so happy to see her out there. I ran into Ryan in Morzine, so happy to see him out there. So look, we love it. Here's the good news. The good news is it's 1,000, even though it doesn't feel like it some days for me and Yancy and the team or any of you, 1,000 times better than last year, 1,000 times better than the year. Like it just keeps getting better, but it's just not fully there yet. So the good news is we can see the light. The bad news is there's still some blemishes that we're dealing with. And there's nothing, by the way, there's no excuse. There's nothing I could say. There's nothing that would be understood. I'd love it if anybody wants to come work with me in the office for a day. Somebody said to me a long time ago, Joe, I understand what you're saying, Joe, but if you put your problems on the table and I put my problems on the table, you will take yours back. I promise you. So like, you know, I learned in psychology class, Will, back in 1988, Professor Maz was teaching us this idea that like you can't make assumptions. You can't assume that that person that didn't leave a tip at the restaurant is evil or this or that. You don't know what's going on in that person's life. So like, yeah, that's all I got to say.
So for the elites listening, they hear like you're owning it, no excuses. We appreciate the elites, and then they might think, "Cool, where's my money?"
They gotta wait.
I know. Oh, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
Yeah, they gotta wait. We got some checks out early August. We expect some more checks coming out late August. I expect the way things are going, well, this problem will be 80% behind us by September 1st. But still a headache, still a nightmare for folks. But that's what we're tracking.
Yeah, and just for some transparency, approximately 50,000 has been paid out this week, and we try really hard to the people that are the farthest out. You chip away, and that's just the right way to do it. So I know some people maybe listen. You got paid this week, and there's some of you that just haven't yet. It's you know, I've watched the AED paddles have been on the. I watched the AED paddles be broke out 7 days a week for many years, and there's no way in hell. I'll be super honest. Many days each week, I would wake up saying, "There's no way we're going to make it through this. I don't understand how we're going to make it this." Because the benefit is, and I don't want to. I think I can speak for Joe here. If you want to see behind the scenes and be able to dive in with us, I know a guy that will let you do that because he let me do that. I just kept bugging him, and he let me kind of get in behind the scenes, and I know he'll let you do, because some of you out there, some of our elites they're really freaking sharp. A lot of you are really sharp, and if you ever want in behind the scenes, I'm going to go ahead and say I can promise Joe would let you in on that.
I'll do one better, Yancy. If anybody wants to drive the car for the day, I'll take the passenger seat for a day. There's lots and lots and lots of people smarter than me. Look, very smart people told you, myself, and the entire team back in 2021, 2022, pack it in. Pack it in. And that was definitely the Harvard Business School, Wharton Business School. That was the right thing to do. From just a pure business perspective, go bust, don't pay anybody, and then reemerge, nice and clean. But we said no.
It was hard watching, you watch the supplement companies and whatnot. They were making 2 to 3x revenue. Yeah. It was all taken away. And, oh man, I do want to make sure that all the elites watching understand that there's no words that can truly describe the level of respect that we have for you. And the fact that I was talking to one of the elites the other day, and from all of us on the employee side of the house for Spartan, we're no different than, the employees of the NFL or the NBA or UFC and Dana White and his crew. We love standing on the sidelines of the mud and the barbed wire and watching you race as much as the other spectators. And how freaking cool is it that what makes our sport so much different from the most ultimate participatory sport is the fact that those 10,000 spectators get to go out on the exact same course that you race on. And you are the Tom Brady's and the Serena Williamses of our sport. And the Caitlin Clarks these days and the Angel Reeses, that's who you are. And the fact that you share the course with all those people. So I guess from the bottom of our heart as an organization, I promise you, because I'm in on hundreds of calls, there's a lot of respect for you. Yes, you're a tiny piece of the overall grand scheme of 15 million people. You're like less than 1% of the people, but you are in so many ways. If you got 500 followers or 50,000 plus followers, you're such a huge piece of our brand. So we love you. We respect you. And we hope that we can earn your trust again and get you back out on course one day.
Joe, you said something.
I was going to say last thing before we go is I got to go catch this flight. It doesn't make any better what I'm about to say, but most companies don't last. So if you look at UFC's history, you look at Ironman's history, you look at New York Marathon, you go Hearst, ESPN, any of them, these companies all go through really, really great cycles and really, really tough cycles. I sat on a trading desk. I saw lots go away, lots emerge, lots survive. And so, I've asked some big friends of mine that run giant companies. The space I'm sitting in right now is a family office, close to $9 billion. They said it's just resilience. It's just, you just don't give up because everybody's going to go through those cycles. And it's so easy when you're getting, if you're me or the team, and you're getting punched in the face on social, right? And you're trying to do a good thing. We're trying to get people across finish lines and transform their lives. And you're getting punched in the face with Wall Street Journal does a negative article on you, or, Will Hicks's competitor gets negative on you. It doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel, and it's easy to just tap out, but those that stay in the fight, and maybe we lose a few fingers and toes along the way, but as long as we don't lose, the heart and the lungs, we come out the other side. I'm proud. I'm really proud of our team. I'm really, really proud of all the vendors that have stuck with us. I'm really, really proud of the community because, yes, there's a couple of hundred people that really, if they saw me at night, they'd probably run me over. But there's 15 million people that cross the finish line, and we mean a lot to those folks. And so we can't let the very angry couple of hundred ruin it for everybody else. I got to stay in the game. I got to make sure I take care of those folks, and just live to fight another day. That's the deal.
Joe, before you go, I just wanted to recap. You said September 1st, 80% taken
Clean
care
it up. Yeah. On this legacy prize money.
And then when those last 20% of people or payments?
Sometime over the next few months following that. So October, November, something like that. We don't have, for those listening that don't have a business degree or have never run a business, and I don't mean that disparagingly, our business, like so many businesses, we don't have guaranteed income every week. Like think about it. If you have a salary and you make $1,000 a week, well, you know exactly what you have to spend on food. You know what you have to spend on mortgage. You know exactly what you have. We don't get any guarantee. We don't know what we're going to do in business tomorrow or the day after. We know we have great days. We know we have mediocre days. We know we have bad days. And so there's no way for us to extrapolate out and say, all right, we're going to take care of the remaining 20% of these blemishes we have from the pandemic in the next 60 days. I have no way of knowing that. We're doing great on a go forward basis. If we just look at this year, we're doing great. But I have an anchor still from the pandemic. So I got to not only do great and take care of today, I also got to take care of the past. And I got to do that organically. So
I get myself in trouble all the time for being too transparent. I may do it here, but I'll tell you something specifically that we're working on behind the scenes. And I mean, a couple times a week, there's messages flying back and forth, trying to come up with this plan. And we would never do this until we get caught up. But we are aggressively trying to work on a plan to where when you finish on the podium, we pay you that day. It is actually a plan we are working on. It was brutal back in the day because you had to, from the tax issues and finance issues, if you don't get those forms, you get your legs cut off under you. But it's something we are aggressively talking about and wanting to do. but we got to get caught up first. Give that formal apology and thank you so much for sticking with us. And oh, by the way, this is what we're moving forward with. So that's not me saying I can promise you that's what we're going to do, but that's something that the highest people in this company are shaking their heads. You damn right. That's what we need to try to do. So that makes me feel very good. And I hope to gosh, we can get there, because I know almost every one of them out there across the country and the world. I know that 90% of you, if we could wake up 6 months to a year from now and a plan like that was rolling, and it's like, damn, this is for real. I've been on 3 podiums and I'm getting paid either really quickly or day of. I know you all, you're wonderful humans. There would be some level of forgiveness. So I love what we do. We're in the business of dealing with the world's most powerful drug, fitness, movement, exercise. We've seen it change and even save lives. And that's why we freaking love what we do so much. And that's why everybody's keeping the fire extinguishers going, because we don't want to see it. I want to wake up 10, 20 years from now. I know Joe doesn't. Everybody that's watching this wants to wake up and see, okay, it's still rolling. Really cool. I did 200 of those races, and it's going to mean something when you're lying on your deathbed one day. So you got a lot of people on this side that are never going to stop fighting, but we also understand your frustrations today.
Couple thoughts, and I got to go, Will. Sorry, I keep talking. I can't even imagine what Vietnam was like, or World War II, or World War I, or the front lines. I've been to Ukraine, but I wasn't on the front lines. But 2021, 2022, 2023, it felt pretty fucking bad. It does not fit. It's not even close. Like it's sunshine and rainbows right now, even though we've got these remaining blemishes we have to take care of. So I'm not worried that Yancy's going to wake up 20, 25 years from now. And listen, Yancy, I'll do one better. We're going to be at the 2028 Olympics, you and I, and we're going to see obstacle inserted in pentathlon because of the work this whole community's done. So talk about a special moment, But I gotta jump. Will, you're always awesome. Oh, by the way, everybody, my email, I thought I gave it to everybody, is joe@spartan.com, joe@spartan.com. It's me. A lot of people say, oh, I know it's not going to be Joe. It's me. I respond to everything. If I don't respond, I am either dead or missed it. Send me a new one. All right. You guys are awesome. See ya.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah, Sena.
Hey, well, yeah, I just, for everybody, I'll see thousands of people tomorrow and Sunday here in PA, and a lot of people join DEKA. And true story, when the house was completely on fire and the money was we were bleeding. And, Joe would be like, we got to keep all essential staff, everybody full-time. We're going to keep them on board as many as possible and all this stuff. And it's like, you start doing the math, you start seeing EBITDA statements and P&Ls, and you're like, this is not working. This is not going to work. But the reason why I'm telling this story real quick is because there's a lot, over the course of the pandemic, we built a new brand called DEKA, and every single person on the team, and there's probably going to be some elite athletes that said, yeah, you should have followed their mindset, what they wanted to do. They were like, listen, you got to cut all things that are costing you any money. And Joe's like, no, I believe in what's going on there with DEKA. And now it's a fun, amazing brand. Our gyms have held 4,000 events, and we've probably had 150 large-scale DEKA events and DEKA FIT events, and we're growing. We're in 12 countries now. I guess from a selfish standpoint, it meant a lot to me because Joe allowed us to keep the doors open, and we now have a very viable brand in DEKA, and we do celebrate the power of fitness every day, 10 to 50 events every weekend. And it just, the lights should have been turned off, but he believed in it and they were able to stay on. And, we've almost got all this. And so for all you elites, I'm probably part of the cause that you didn't get paid soon. I'm part of the freaking fault. So I hope you guys realize how much we love and appreciate you, man. I mean that because I'll never feel like I'm disassociated with that group of why Spartan and Tough Mudder and even DEKA now exists, is because I light up and I kind of levitate and elevate when I see the elites show up, and they're the fast and the furious folks, because most of them have just huge hearts that are beating out of their rib cage, man. And they love this, and they'll stay and volunteer and love on the 100-pound overweight people that they're on the same course after they finish. And you mean a lot to us. So, Will, thank you for your time. And I know you got a hard stop, brother, but I sure do appreciate you, man.
Awesome. Yancy Culp. Thanks much, man. Appreciate you.
Rock and roll.
All right, there you go. Straight from the source. What do you think? Shoot me an email, will@theocrreport.com, or jump on Instagram and leave a comment at the OCR Report. Be sure you're following us on Instagram at the OCR Report and on YouTube, youtube.com/the OCR Report. We have Spartan Red Deer live stream this weekend. Depending on when you're listening, you can watch it as it happens on Monday night. My name is Will Hicks. Thank you for listening to the OCR Report podcast. I will talk with you soon. Go spend time with someone you love.